In a world where 54% of Americans read below a 6th grade level,
Could you read this?
It's impossible. I just see his words everywhere.
one man wrote a book about the hidden truth behind clowns.
I finally finished it. But everything's going to be okay now.
Links down below to the Amazon.
But he was about to find out
Your primary market is the USA, and it ranks 36th in global literacy rates, with over 43 million adults unable to read or write.
getting the truth to people is no day at the circus.
You know, sometimes I wonder if I'm the real clown.
Nobody reads anymore.
Have you considered recording an audiobook?
You're going to get a sore throat.
You're serious about this, aren't you?
You don't understand. I have to do this. The people have to know.
That book will ruin everything.
I will not use AI to record this.
We can't let him reach them.
This is just something I need to do. I don't even like clowns. The end.
Now they can hide that they're completely illiterate. This is amazing.
This season, playing on rectangular devices with black screens near you. The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns. The audiobook.
Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Come on in, sit on down. It's time for a live Q&A session. It's a Wednesday evening for me, and as you can see, I'm dressed in character from my advert you just saw there, suit and tie job. It's you can see my tattoos coming through a little bit. I've just noticed as well. It's a thin white shirt, what can I say? And yeah, I'm going to do something special today. I'm doing something a bit different because the audiobook is actually released. It passed the quality assurance tests from ACX, Amazon's company that deals with Audible. And to my surprise, the whole 11 and a half hours worth of audiobook that I recorded personally with my own voice right here in this microphone in this office actually passed quality assurance. So I'm assuming there's no mistakes. Maybe there's the odd repeated word here and there. I'm only human. I'm not perfect, you know, but apparently, according to their checks, nothing at all, no problems. So that's good to know. So that's passed. That's now available. I did do a bit of an announcement yesterday, and to celebrate, I released a new episode of The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns, episode 45. It's actually been over a year since I've released an episode for that series, and this one was on the Royal Order of Jesters. Yes, it's been a requested topic of mine for a while. So what I did, I actually read from the book. It was a clip from the audiobook, chapter 15, Secret Societies and the Circus, something, I think that's what it's called, and it actually makes clear on there, there's a subheading right at the end of that chapter. It's a very long chapter. It's about 2 hours long worth of reading, but the last one was about the Royal Order of Jesters. So I took the half an hour snippet from the audiobook, added some images to back up everything that was discussed there, and it made for a very documentary style, dry presentation of what we know publicly about this very shady secret society. And all the information that I shared on there is publicly available through FBI and court proceedings and records. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes and what we don't know, eh? So if you haven't already, go check out episode 45 of The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns. It felt good to go back to my roots. Like I said, I kind of got a bit sidetracked by the little season stuff maybe about a year ago, and I kind of put all the Nephilim clown thing on the back burner while I was just focusing on obviously promoting the book. And kind of my attention wandered, as it tends to do, into other things as well. And like I said, the little season topic did kind of like take my focus away, but this channel originally was about the Nephilim Looked Like Clowns. Well, that was its main tangent. Obviously, I'm all about conspiracy and all things conspiracy, but my baby is this thing, you know. And I think it's a good to come back to what I should be doing, because I still have to write the second book to finish the body of work off completely, I think. And although there'll always be more information coming when it comes to the Nephilim clown topic, I think the second book will be my way of kind of wrapping it up in a nice bow and finishing it off. And I'm about a quarter to a third of the way through that second book. And now the audiobook's done for the first one, I can just concentrate on writing in my spare time, which is exciting, and making more episodes for the Nephilim Clown series. I think that's what I want to do. Because like I said, I can take snippets from the audiobook process and release videos to kind of promote the book, promote the audiobook, and get the information out there, and make visually clear what it is I'm talking about in the text itself. So what I'm going to do today, now I've got people here, people are rolling in, I'm going to do a bit of a prize giveaway, because I didn't know this when I made the audiobook and put it on ACX. They actually give you promo codes, and these promotional codes are actually apparently you're supposed to wait a while before they give them to you, but they just gave me 50 straight away. I'm guessing because they saw on Amazon the book itself has like 160 reviews, 4.8 rating. It's been around for a while. I think they already predicted that I don't have to kind of prove anything to them before they give me these promotional codes. So they just gave me 50 straight away. And with these promotional codes, I can give away the audiobook for free. And what I'm going to do is do that today. We're going to have a prize giveaway, and the minimum threshold to get your name into the prize giveaway is just a $2 super chat. I think that's the minimum you can do on here. Anything above that will get you in there as well. And as a side note as well, I think I put a goal here, but if I get 50 super chats, I'll up that to 3 giveaways. So I'll give 3 promo codes out. What I'm going to do, I'll go to wherever it tells me where people have done fan funding, and I'll literally enter everyone's name into a spin the wheel random name generator. And at the end of this 2-hour show, about an hour and a half show, I'll spin the wheel and we'll pick 1 or maybe 3 people, and I'll give those codes away. You just email me and I'll send the code. And once the code's been used, that's it. It's done. Can't be used by anybody else. And you'll get your own Audible version of the Nephilim Looked Like Clowns. I thought it'd be a bit of fun, something different. And we've already got people coming in. What we've got here, we've got EP has put their $2 in. Trish Clark, Miles, Wesley Erickson, Yar's Calibri. We got Louisiana. Yep, everyone's getting involved, and like I said, you've got to be in it to win it, as they say. I suppose this is British radio style. This is how they do it over in Britain on the radio. So let's have some fun with this, guys. Yeah. So while I'm here as well, this is just the usual live Q&A session as well. So that's kind of going to be happening on the sidelines. And I'll be prompting people as we go on throughout the show to get your name in, get your $2 in. Get that minimum threshold, get in there, get your name on it. You can get a audiobook worth $25. There you go. A free promo code. So yes, it is still a live Q&A though. So ask questions as we go on about anything you want, and I'll have my conversation back and forth. There's a few little topics here and there I kind of want to bridge upon for this one, but this is just a fun show, a bit of a relaxing one before you guys leave this show later and go and watch JT's premiere as he responds to John Pounders from Now You See TV about the little season debunking. I'm sure you're all just waiting for that one. So a bit of fun with me before you guys go off to JT over there. So let's go on here. We got Garth Peterson. Thanks for being here. We got Trish Clark, listening while working. Love you all. Thanks for being here, Trish. I appreciate it. Owen Lee, how did you get on in court? I lost. This will help as a part of the 54%. Are you familiar with Sentient World Simulation? I'm not. Fill me in, Pete Folger. That sounds pretty intense. Saw that. Seeing about Billikens made me think of St. Louis University Billikens basketball team. Yes, they actually have a mascot, which is the Billikens. I think it's a Jesuit university as well. And the Billikens is their mascot. That's true. I've seen that. SLU's mascot. That's right. Woohoo prices. Here in Maine, we have a circus smirkus coming. Oh, wow. Yeah, the circus is everywhere. We have a circus here where I'm from as well, the traveling one. They're all over the place, aren't they? But I feel like today, they aren't quite the Freemasonic spectacle they used to be back in the original format when they first kind of were around in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. I feel like nowadays they are just a bunch of performers and actors just putting on a bit of a show for people for fun, completely ignorant of its origins. But the original setup was definitely Solomonic invocation rituals, just on a mass scale. Today, it's just a bunch of people on bikes going into like a dome and circling on the inside, hoping they don't hit each other while walking on a tightrope, balancing on a chair. I think it's a little bit more just stunts and performance today. But originally, yeah, it was highly spiritually charged symbolism. Look at Guy looking all spiffy. Well, I only put this on because in the audiobook advert I recorded, which I showed at the start of this, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking dead serious, like I'm a guy like hard at work, you know, and I'm just in character. I'm dressed in character. I don't dress in suit in a tied shirt very often, and my shirts are usually open. I was wearing the pink t-shirt before this show started, and I thought I can't wear this thing because everyone thinks I'm naked, because I'm just so white and pink and typically British. So I quickly switched this last minute for fun. And, you know, it's a prize. I'm a game show host, shall we say. I've got to look the part, haven't I? So there we go. I thought I'd quickly slap on a tie. Owen Lee, why is Christianity the only religion that you don't get an experience? Just pray and hope? Great jester show. Well, Owen Lee, I wouldn't say Christianity is the only religion that you don't get an experience. It's a bit of a loaded statement, to be honest. I would say, yeah, sure. You're not going to get the psychedelic experience like you would get with, I suppose, intense meditation, Buddhism, Taoism type Eastern stuff. If you go to the extremes, or Indian religions, or maybe the pagan ancestor spirit culture religions and worships where they ingest heavy psychedelic chemicals and drugs and entheogens to induce the experience, and the ayahuasca brewing people out there, you know. I suppose, yeah, you don't get that experience with Christianity necessarily, though everything is within God's power to give you that experience if he so wishes to. The experience you get with Christianity is a far more profound and real world based, I would say, than anything else like that. The Christian experience is one of complete and total transformation of yourself, a complete and total renewing of one's body and mind and desires to be wholly centered and focused on Christ and God and what he truly wants for us. God will set you on the path to give you the life that you actually always wanted and didn't know it. God will set you free. He'll save you. The experience is having your eyes open to see the world as it truly is and for what's really going on, to be given the truth in a profound way, which is tangible, realistic, and not based in anything as ethereal as a spiritual, mystical experience. It's to say you don't get an experience becoming a Christian is disingenuous at best. It's just ignorance at worst, really. I think the experience of being born again is you just have to experience it to understand. I guess that's all I can say. So there's my answer to you, Owen Lee. Take it for what it is. An English gentleman, says Joseph Hefferman. That's me. I'm an English gentleman. What can I say? You are looking spiffy, Paul. That's right. John Pounders has kind of exploded in popularity. I won't really know. I haven't followed the guy. I've seen him on Now You See TV with his co-host. Not really a fan. Not my style. Not my jam. You know. But I've known about them for years. I have listened to them over the years. John seems like he's a lot more cooler, a bit more down to earth, a bit more calm, a bit more open minded than the co-host. But even then, that's neither here nor there for me. He's definitely a brother in Christ. He's on fire for God, and I haven't watched it. People have shared in my Telegram the presentation he's done where he's kind of debunking the little season, but I haven't watched it myself. I assume it's just a lot of the usual, the things I heard a while ago. And yeah, like I said, I believe JT is doing his own thing about that after this show. I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern time, so go check that out, you know. Haven't been on a live in forever, says Rusty. Sorry. Yeah, something happened out there that got my attention. We're a family of sick people right now. All of us are a little bit under the weather. I have extreme tooth pain right now. Wisdom tooth has come through, which is kind of radiated up here, down here, into the sinuses, up the nose, and I have I've been using what's it called? It's like an oil you can get, clove. I think it's clove oil or something. I can't remember. I've been using a numbing agent on there, a natural one mixed with olive oil, and I've taken a couple of paracetamol to take the edge off as well. So I'm here. So if I sound a bit muffled, it's because I can't really open my mouth very wide. I'm kind of stuck in this eating slices of pizza only mode, and even then chewing's a nightmare. But on top of all of that, my son also vomited everywhere today. He's been a little bit under the weather, shall we say. It may be because he mixed milk with juice, I don't really know, but we're kind of on bucket watch right now in the bedroom while they're sleeping. So that's going on behind the scenes for me while I'm here doing this show for you guys. And it sounds like maybe he's just stirred a little bit there. So what's going on in the chat? We've got Coulter Connor in the house. Love you all. MK Ryan's here as well. I hope Connor respects his audience enough to dress up for level 52 tonight. Oh yeah, after this as well, it's Connor's show, Connor's usual show, the main character podcast. Don't forget to check out the Cult of Cons podcast as well. I'm sure that'll be a fun show. While I'm sleeping away, he'll be busy giving his usual diatribe. Paul got my audiobook, says Nancy Saved by Jesus. Thank you. That's wonderful. Yeah, guys, you can go get your copy at Audible. If you don't win tonight, if you're banking on that, you can always go to Audible yourself and get your own copy. That would definitely help me a lot as well. It looks like Connor's got himself in the drawer. There we go. Good for him. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to catch up on the chat. It looks like Wendy's in the drawer as well. Mark's here. We've got looking so classy. He dressed up for an audiobook. Yeah, I know. But that's the fun of it. It's like, did it even matter, you know? It's not even that. I was given this idea that I'm contending with like the red tape of bureaucrats and publishers, and you know, I have business people out there to stop the book from getting out, you know, and stopping me from preventing illiteracy rates from getting any worse. I'm kind of in the midst of like a suit situation, you know, up against the law. That's the angle I was going for. Maybe the advert came across like that or not. I'm not sure whatsoever. Peace now. Love your work, Paul. Appreciate it so much. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. You are in the draw too. I will have a bit of a break every now and then just to update the names into the spin, you know, and there'll definitely be like a bit of a hiatus in the middle where I'm going to get everyone's names into the draw so we can make it fair. So bear with me as we go through. We've got Aloha Sun has just entered $2 as well. That's wonderful. Thanks for doing that. I hope I win. Well, you got to be in it to win it. Who knows? It's random. Like I said, guys, if we hit 50, we'll do it. Okay, we'll definitely get it done. We'll have 3 giveaways if we hit 50 entries into this thing. It's possible. I mean, we've got 73 people listening now. All it takes is $2 each from all of you, and we're done. You're in. There's 3 chances rather than 1, so that's an extra thing as well. Speaking life abundantly to you and your family, says Yarzad. Thank you. We've got Chiro in the house as well. Good to see you. We've got Cage Fighter. MK Ryan's made it for a moderation session, but he's finally turned up to work. Yeah, so it's good to see you all, guys. Get any questions, and if you've got any questions, you know me, I can talk forever, but I've got a couple of things I kind of want to address in a way, and I'm gonna kind of shift over a little bit because I made a video, didn't I, about AI art, and I did a rant about AI art. I answered a question in the last live show, and I kind of took that snippet and put it on the Understanding Creativity channel. If you haven't already seen that channel, it's my side channel to this, and I just put it on there, and I've had a couple of people kind of comment, and they're angry with me because I would dare say that, well, maybe people who use AI to generate artwork shouldn't really be calling themselves artists necessarily. Perhaps it's a bit of an unearned title, you know? It's kind of a bit of a spit in the face of people who have spent years learning to actually do it themselves as a real human being with real mediums like pencils and paint and paper. And then somebody comes along, slaps into a prompt, make me something profound, and then call themselves an artist when it churns out whatever slop it churns out. It's a little bit offensive. And someone literally was out there trying to like cope and argue with me about it. And I'll just read one of the responses. It just made me laugh, and I thought this is absolutely ridiculous on so many levels. And I'll read the comment just for fun. I won't name and shame them necessarily, but I think the comment says a lot about the way people think or want to justify the nonsense in a way. And he's in the middle of some kind of argument with me right now. I'm not even gonna carry on because it's not worth kind of getting into. But his response to me basically saying, look, AI art, probably not art, probably shouldn't call yourself an artist, was this. Ultimately, it comes down to personal taste and individual preference. Stop him right there. He's a subjectivist. He believes art is subjective, beauty is subjective. There is no objectivity in beauty standards or creativity or quality. So immediately I can tell where this guy's coming from. Like, immediately. Okay. He goes on to say, you put your feelings out there and expect everyone to feel the same way, but not everyone shares the same sentiments. I'm an example of that. I enjoy AI art and music. Likewise, I create AI-generated art and music for myself based on what I want to see and hear. Furthermore, I believe there is enough room in this world for both human artists and AI-created art. I've seen this kind of banter in the art world before, back in the 2000s with digital art. Many artists said it wasn't real art. They claimed it was cheating or stealing, or that it just involved altering someone else's work. Before that, people said the same thing about synth, techno, and EDM. They argued it wasn't real music because it was made on a computer. Now, I know some will argue that there are still people behind that music, and that's true. But there is also a person behind AI art. AI doesn't make art on its own. It needs someone to guide it and decide what to create. It is just another tool that artists can use in their work. On a different note, I love to write, but I'm dyslexic. No matter how hard I try, my spelling and grammar are a struggle. Thanks to ChatGPT, I can take my writing and have it fixed so that it's readable. And have it fixed so that it's readable. I was like, I listened to this whole thing trying to explain to me how, oh, you're just scared of the new latest thing. You know, people used to say this about synth music, and I couldn't expect. All I had to say to him, first of all, I don't expect everyone to agree with me, like he said at the start. Like, you put your ideas there and expect everyone to agree with you. Well, I don't. I was like, I don't expect everyone to agree with me. I wholeheartedly think you are wrong. This is not a new medium for humans to express creativity, as it requires no skill. Just time and brute force. I don't think you're an artist. That was my response. He tried to justify to me how he is an artist. I'm like, I don't think you are. I think you're wrong. And his response was, does creativity only happen with skill? Or can an unskilled person still be creative? And my response was, they can be creative, but it won't be of any objective quality, because by your very definition, they are unskilled. And that's it. And now he went off on one trying to, and I'm not getting into it now because this is where you get pulled into the nonsense weeds. This guy's a subjectivist. I can't win with somebody like this. He doesn't believe in objective standards. He thinks the easy way out is still a way. And he's just not grasping the issue here. So I'll never get through to someone like this. But he gave some response basically saying, right, if someone who is unskilled wants to be creative, they have a few paths ahead of them. And he tries to justify it as like using AI is like hiring somebody to paint something for you. It's no different. And the results are the same. And I'm like, well, no, it's not, because you're not hiring a person. And what gets created by AI does not have the soul humanity can breed into it. And he's trying to turn it into like a utilitarian argument. And it just makes me laugh. That's the kind of stuff that's happening over in Understanding Creativity. I have a different audience there. I'm getting the weirdos coming in trying to justify the crap and the nonsense. And it's just making me laugh. It makes me laugh. You know? So that's kind of happening over there. And I just thought I'd quickly talk about some of the side projects I've got going on, some of the side arguments I'm having. And I believe objective beauty exists, objective standards exist. And if you are creating artwork using AI, you're not an artist. You can't redefine that word now. You are a creative promptist. You're not an artist. It requires zero skill on your part. Just like I said, time and brute force. The patience to type in over and over again a new prompt till the machine finally kicks out something you can think you can use. Like That's just it's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. But a lot of these comments again, it's kind of like, I'm not allowed to voice my opinion. Like, I would dare to voice such a thing. And it's kind of, the truth is, those type of comments are coming from the mediocre, talentless people out there who are offended that I would dare say, you don't have the right to call yourself an artist. It's kind of and this is the problem I saw all through art school and through the galleries as well. And this is kind of like a new version of the same issue I had before AI was even around, that I noticed. And it's that there are a lot of people out there who want to LARP as creatives or artists, but lack the skill. But they get into the art schools on the pretentious nonsense of being able to justify the crap. So they come up with big word salad paragraphs to explain away why their piece of garbage in the corner means something. Okay? And the truth is, because of this whole subjective postmodern thing that happened and the lowering of these such standards, the mediocre have been allowed to come in and take over the industry. And now what you have is an industry where the mediocre and the talentless are supporting one another and lifting each other up to maintain that illusion that they get to then call themselves something that they never had any right to call themselves, an artist. And it's kind of, that's the issue. So those with the talent, the objective talent, the skills, who are still in the industry, don't really get a foothold. They don't have the attention. They don't get invited to the galleries because they would make the mediocre look bad. So they don't pay attention to them. And it's time to just stop that nonsense. It really is. And that's kind of what I'm going for. And this is an example of one of those people who I would class as the mediocre trying to justify their crap with word salad again. It's the same problem. And AI is only exacerbating that issue, I would say. Yars Clipper is entered. Typing is an art form. I don't know. I guess so. If you're writing words like a book, I suppose, yeah, like creating a fiction. Or, yeah, I would say writing a book is a process. But if you ask ChatGPT to write it for you, I'd say you've lost the right to call yourself an artist by that point. Rusty Shackelford. Question. If we are made of the dust of the earth, is the Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust, a song about cannibalism? That's an interesting idea. It's an interesting point. Yes, I'm just going to say yes, it is. The Queen song is a song about cannibalism. There we go. ChatGPT, please write a clever, witty response to Paul about how I'm still the one in charge of these thoughts. I'll leave all the details up to you. Yeah. What's that clown phobia called, says Kurt Reynolds. It's called colorophobia. 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 Yeah. Feels like a participation trophy. Blake Higgins, thanks for being here. Is Kurt Reynolds a troll? Are you a troll, Kurt? Let me know, and I'll sort you out. As an illiterate American, I appreciate the audiobook giveaways, says Sebastian. I'm doing it for you. It's all for you. It's for you guys. But beauty is objective. That's obvious. Yep. Sounds like a bot to me. Maybe it is. I try not to waste my time arguing with people too much because I never know if I'm arguing with a robot or not these days. So I don't give them too much of my time. But that one was just made me laugh. Just made me laugh. Imagine you commissioned a statue and then someone else crafted it and you called yourself an artist. Exactly. That's the issue. But he's like, he legitimately thinks it's justifiable. Like, I don't know. I can't stand that type of stuff. So yeah, guys, if you're just coming in, giveaway show. Quick reminder, I'll do it every 10 minutes. $2 gets you into the draw. We have 16 people in it already. If we get to 50 donations, 50 entries, I'll up that to 3 audiobook giveaways. You will get yourself an Audible promo code. I'll give you the links in an email. You put the promo code in where the link tells you, and you'll get given a copy of the Audible audiobook free of charge. I have they give me like 50 codes, and I'm going to use them like strategically over the next year or two probably. But right now, for the opening night, the audiobook is now available to buy. I'm going to give up to 3 away if we get to 50. If not, then it's just one lucky winner. Get your name in there, and we'll put in all your names into a random name generator, and we'll draw whoever wins tonight, and I'll send that to you tonight straight after the show via the email. Just contact me and we'll get it all sorted. But if you want to enter, you want to be in it to win it, you've got to just donate the minimum threshold, $2, to a super chat in this show tonight. So there we go, guys. A bit of fun, something extra. If you've just turned up, that's what's going on. Get your entry in. Get it done now, guys. Now's your chance. You look professional, says James Lance. I try to look professional. It reminds me of my the old days where I used to work for a call center trying to get people to review their pensions and consider moving them or consolidating them into a different pension pot where they can get greater returns each year. It's kind of, I had to cold call people and convince them to do that. And yeah, that was a sad, depressing, horrible time of my life, which I just do not want to think about anymore, to be honest. But I used to have to dress like this every day to do that. And that was soul crushing, truly soul crushing. What's going on here? Kind of, I'm a half troll, says Kurt Reynolds. I knew it. I had a feeling. Don't kick me, Wendy. I'm just joking around. We'll see. Unfortunately, I'm between jobs. Don't have $2 to spare, says Mark. Don't worry about it, Mark. You've done enough. Who knows? Maybe you'll earn you've already got yourself a signed copy of the book, if I remember correctly. Oh, that's another point. I have another batch of books turning up in about 5 to 6 days. If you want a signed copy, email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and get yours. 3 have already been claimed of this batch, but there's still like 7 left if you still want to get in on it. So let me know, guys. Signed copies are available. Right, so what's going on down here? Right, guys. So anyway, get some questions in if you want to get some questions in. Because, like I said, I'm open to talk about anything tonight. Like I said, I did the show on the Royal Order of the Jesters recently, and it reminded me of just how dark that group is, what was going on there. It really, like, it's been a while since I've obviously, well, you know, I wrote the book and wrote the information down, but rehashing it and making the video was like a reminder of like these people. And it's interesting because there is, like I said, there's somebody out there called Sandy Frost who is constantly like jabbing at the Royal Order of the Jesters and the Shriners and making work about them and just the tax avoidance, basically. And it reminded me of her work. I wonder if I should reach out to her and get an interview with her, see what she's been doing up to lately. But she's like always exposing them all the time and writing books about them, and I think they really hate that one. And there's nothing they can do about it because how can you can't really stop her. Yeah, maybe it'd just be too obvious, wouldn't it? And it's kind of so they just try to ignore her. And I quoted her in my book, and it's a funny one, absolutely. So if you haven't already, check out Sandy Frost, like, and her books. I think it's Vampires of Charity. It's a really good one. It's a bit dry because it's just got all the facts and all the tax returns where they're clearly just avoiding paying tax, and the money's not going where they said it should be going, and it's just an absolute mess. I think. In one of the quotes, I think she basically, and this is in the previous chapter, which wasn't in that episode, but in the audiobook, I do explain all of this. But she basically said something like, the Shriner hospitals and the circuses that the Shriners run, those circuses are supposed to fundraise money to fund the hospitals, okay? And then when they actually look at the tax returns, only 3% of the money earned at the circuses went to the hospital. The rest of it, who knows? It's a black hole. And she's basically put 2 and 2 together and realized they're using that money to fund the parties and orgies and wild, crazy stuff, and basically prostitutes and human trafficking. It's insane. It's actually insane. So check that out if you haven't already as well. It's a book recommendation if you wanted one. If you've got the stomach for it, that is. Oh, Cumber the Ghost Ninja's in the house. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of you immediately because I know what you're here to do. I know what you're here to do. So there you go. You're gone. That's enough of that. You're welcome, Mark. You're accurate, Connor. Cumber, you're full of... Yeah, exactly. Connor knew what I was on about. I'm getting rid of that guy immediately because I know he's just going to ruin everything, derail the whole chat. And not interested in that whatsoever. So someone reached out to me for an interview, so I just talked to you guys again, a bit of behind the scenes stuff. And I don't know if anyone's heard of this guy before. It rang a bell to me, and I feel like he's actually been around for a while. What's his name? He's called. He has the Fifth Dimension podcast. Evan McDermott, and apparently he's like interviewed people like Nathan Reynolds, Northrup, David Icke. He wants to get me on to talk about. Well, he said he wants to talk about the end of the rabbit hole stuff, you know, and I guess he wanted like a millennial reign presentation in some way. But it says he also wants to kind of, is there a new way to talk about this? He wants to talk about the collective myths realigning listeners with a deeper meaning. And I kind of said to him, look, I'm not looking to do another Millennial Kingdom podcast or presentation. I've done enough of them already. I'm not interested in that. And I suggested to him, like, well, because he said, like, maybe we could talk about modern society being the devil's playground, and maybe we can talk about the central themes and the importance of salvation. And I said, yeah, you know, that sounds like a good idea to me as well, to be honest. Because like I said, I don't want to do another millennial reign talk, because I'm moving on from that in a way. You know, it's just not where I want my channel to be. I discuss it every now and then, but I kind of want to discuss around the topic as like an outsider observing the movement as a whole, rather than someone in the movement, should I say, spearheading it anymore. I've done my bit. You know, I'm not interested in that. And I kind of explained to him, like, I'd like to get more meta about people questioning mainstream eschatology. Like, why is that even a phenomena happening today? Why are people kind of, I think the mass noticing that people have been doing for so long has stirred up this deep subconscious desire within the Christian community to kind of find a new way. And I think the foundational, well, observing what Israel is doing, for example, is making people extremely question deep down, even if the cognitive dissonance is stopping them from verbally saying it. I think they're getting a bit questionable about whether or not they should be following the dispensationalist view. And like I said, alternative eschatologies, I think, are so popular now. And I think a lot of people didn't realize there were any alternatives so much. The masses didn't realize. There's always been people out there who knew about things like historicism, preterism, I guess little seasonism in a way, you know, and I guess the alternative views are coming out now, you know, amillennialism as well. I think it's kind of changing the landscape of Christianity in a big way. And I think the little season thing that bubbled up like a year ago, 2 years ago, to be what it is today, is like a symptom of this deep-rooted desire in people to kind of like a realization that they were lied to. Actions of that group of people in the Middle East are not lining up necessarily with what they were kind of told that they should be looking for. And I know there's like signs of the times are still happening, but I think, especially if you're a conspiracy theorist, we know they can orchestrate these things and probably would orchestrate such things to make it seem like whatever they want to happen is happening. And I think there's this deep-rooted mistrust now that's kind of running like an undercurrent through the Christianity as a whole, which is shaking it up big time. And I kind of want to discuss that in a way, rather than just do another presentation on all the quotes and facts about what that back up the little season topic in a way. I also want to talk about the rise of the desire for a relationship with God with younger people. I think that'll be good to discuss on a podcast visit. I think the younger and younger generations and people are opening themselves up to having a relationship with Christ and God. And it seems like the rise of the ortho bro is kind of what we're seeing right now, isn't it? And orthodoxy seems to be what they're falling into because it seems to have a cooler edge than classic Catholicism, you know, or Protestantism, or like I said, maybe just the non-denominationals, which I don't think they fully understand what that even is. And I think the young generations are looking for, obviously, a sense of belonging, which secular society is kind of stripping away from them. And I think the rigidness of orthodoxy is appealing to a younger generation because of the rules and the ritual and kind of the die-hard fanaticism that can come with it. I think that sense of belonging and self that it offers is what's appealing more so. And I would say you don't necessarily have to be an Orthodox Christian to be a Christian. Like, I think there's other ways. There's only one way, to be honest, and that is just believing on Jesus Christ, and you'll be saved. And I think I personally am an advocate that you don't need all the extra stuff. And there's no I'm more saved than you when it comes to salvation, and all the ritual and pomp and circumstance is just filler. It's buffer. It's unnecessary from my perspective. And I kind of want to talk about this rise in the younger generation, that leaning towards orthodoxy that I've noticed. And I also kind of want to talk about the movement itself of the little season and kind of what happened and how I observed the movement kind of flourish and grow and to be what it is today and kind of where it is right now. It's kind of in flux right now. And I think there's a bit of a war occurring between the futurists and the little seasonists, which I don't want to be involved in. I don't get involved in that mess. I'm not interested in debunking the debunkers or anything like that, or getting pulled into the weeds. But as a movement, in the truth of movement as a whole, as like a subtopic or a thing that's happening right now, it's fascinating to watch and to see how it's going to pan out and where it's going to go. That's for sure. And I'm interested to see that, maybe discuss that idea. And like I said, I've got my sides, you know, and like I said, I believe we're in the little season personally, but it's kind of, to get into the weeds and those arguments is kind of, no, I'm not interested in that. But I'll certainly observe what happens and where it's going, and I'm not too invested necessarily in the truth or conspiracy like community and where that ends up necessarily, because I'm a Christian first and foremost, a follower of Jesus Christ. I wouldn't call myself a little seasonist or something, you know, and identify like that. I'm always open to just kind of stay a bit lone wolf rogue on all of this stuff and kind of keep that layer of separation from the whole thing. Because again, my channel is Understanding Conspiracy, and I need to make sure I'm always remembering that this whole little season thing that happened and is still happening is kind of an event within conspiracy culture. And I need to focus on and observe it as that, because I've seen these things rise and fall many times throughout the decade and a half. I've kind of been watching and observing, and movements like this do kind of flare up and die down a lot. And I feel like this is just another one. And yes, these movements have truth in them, that's for sure. But the truth itself doesn't need a community or a movement. If you get it, is just objectively true. And obviously people tend to naturally flock towards community and groups, and I get that. It's perfectly normal and natural. But when you identify and become like a collective, I feel like that's where issues begin to happen as well. And if your collective identity is not simply a member of the body of Christ, but with a specific subgenre of eschatology, I feel like that's where division within the body of Christ can become a major problem. And it's something I was always hyper aware of in the start and was trying to avoid when I did my own presentations, but it seems unavoidable in many ways. And again, I'm going to kind of observe and discuss that aspect of things, I think, going forward. And then obviously the core message of salvation in these times from a kingdom context is something I kind of want to discuss more as well. I think it could be interesting. And spiritual warfare, rising technologies, and the rise of Gnosticism, I think, is something that needs to be discussed a lot more as well, which I think my channel kind of focuses on and has done in the past. But I think I'll put more of a focus into these topics going ahead in the future. Like I said, this podcast visit with the Fifth Dimension podcast, I think might be a good way to kind of introduce my initial thoughts on this. And of course, what I'm talking with you guys about now, this is my ramble for the day, for the podcast, for the Wednesday live Q&A, you know. Anyway, we're trying to get something on the books, but our time zone differences are pretty vast. So that could be coming soon. That's interesting. And there's some topics I kind of want to start broaching in the future. Rusty Shackelford, can this go out to 5 random people for a chance to win? Look, that's going to get way too complicated for me if we start doing that, because I'm just going to literally go to donations and it's going to list everybody who gave a super chat, and then I'm just going to copy and paste those names into a thing. It's going to take a lot of work for me to then start divvying up, and I'm simplifying. But thanks, Rusty, for the extra donation there. But that's not going to happen. No. Request denied, but you're in the draw. That's for sure, Rusty. Thank you. Paul, you helped bring my GFNI to the little season and Millennial Kingdom. Thanks so much. Changed our lives, says the John Goals. Well, you're welcome. Like I said, it's I like conspiracy. I like complex philosophical topics. And that was a complex idea to get your head around and wrap around. And I do thought experiments and I applied it to reality and it fits. And I explained in my presentations how I think it fits. Like I said, I'm not a leader. I don't write books about the topic. I'm not a proponent of it. I'm not out there fighting for the topic, but I can certainly explain to you. That's my job on Understanding Conspiracy. That's the job I've made for myself, How can I explain a conspiracy topic to somebody in a succinct way? And that's what I've worked on doing with that one. And I think I've done it now and internalized it. And I'm moving on and trying to do it with other concepts and topics as well in the truth community. But I'm glad it helped. I'm glad it helped you. Have you talked on your opinions of the Knights Templar? They say they have Jesus's bones in vaults. So I've not yet discussed that, no, and I think I'll have to do a bit more research before I open my mouth on that one, to be honest. I'm not well read on the Knights Templar specifically, and just being honest, No problem, I heard of that. That blew my mind. You did your part, brother, planted many seeds, encouraged many to study deeper, and now others can, through Christ Jesus, pick up the mantle and fight for the truth. Well, I know Miles is out there doing his thing, that's for sure. Yeah. Does this chat think Trump is a real Christian or fake Christian? Real question. That's a good question. What do you guys think? Is Trump real Christian or fake? Give me your verdict now in the chat. Have you heard of the Black Awakening? No matter where we are in the timeline, Satan's army has mind control super soldiers. This plan is meant to usher in a mass reset, if true. I've heard of this concept that they're like sleeper agents everywhere, and all it's going to take is a trigger to wake them all up. These super soldiers that will basically just destroy everything. I've heard that concept, but I mean, that's kind of been an old concept for a long time, and is that kind of up there with like the nuclear threat? Any moment it could just happen, but then we know that the whole nuclear thing may not be what it was made out to be, atom bombs and all that sort of stuff likely don't exist. I'm not saying there isn't nuclear power, but nuclear bombs, probably not, I'm not sure. Maybe that's just another looming in the back of our mind fear threat that's always hanging over us they want to put out there. I don't really know, because this is the problem with conspiracy and the world of conspiracy. There is this issue of a lot of stuff gets released on purpose because they want us to believe that that's the case, but it's presented as like hidden knowledge. There's a lot of lies mixed up with those people who come out and release this hidden knowledge. There's some things they want us to find. There's an externalization of the hierarchy agenda going on, where they kind of want to reveal themselves to the public in a drip feed fashion. So we tacitly accept their existence rather than get angry and fire back against them in a way. And I do wonder if a lot of these topics that come out, like the Black Awakening, is just like one example of like a falsified conspiracy that's been purposefully put out there for us to discover and talk about, because it soft discloses their existence while also adding a layer of, and you should fear them, so we don't do anything, because it's like they've got super soldiers, just sleeper cell super soldiers everywhere that they can unlock at any moment, and it's kind of like that's good propaganda, brainwashing, mind control stuff to say that, so that's why I do wonder. Your videos have led me to Jesus. Praise God. Well, thanks, Jerv. That's amazing. Good to hear. I'm glad. That's what it's all about, right? That's leading people to the truth. That's what we want to do. To the truth, the way, and the life. Trump being fake depends on which theories we believe. So many lies now, says Golden Fern. Are the white hats real? Are they supposedly working with God? Presti is recruited for the white hats. Who knows? Wouldn't Jesus have his bones? He's got a glorified body. That sounds retarded to even say his bones are out there. I know, right? I know. I tend to agree with Wendy on that interpretation. Yeah. Maybe you're right, but SRA and mind control are real, so perhaps both real, perhaps. Well, I'm not saying it's not real, but I do wonder sometimes. I do. You can create alters, split personalities. I think they did a lot of experiments with that over the past like 5 to 4 decades, probably 6 decades now. But were they really successful? Who really knows? You know, who really knows how successful they were with the mind control programming? We don't really know. I got a gnat coming in. I've got the window open. Just bear with me a second. I'm going to quickly close the window and stop the influx of gnats before it gets out of hand. There we go. As you can see, I've got the lights on. It's dark outside, and it definitely attracts them very quickly. And at the end of one of my last live shows, they were all on the ceiling. There was just loads of them. So I had to put loads of sticky pads all over the place and lock them in for the night. Hopefully in the morning they would have all kind of got stuck away and out of the way. Looking snazzy today, bro. Thank you. And conflicted, your beard reminds you of clown makeup. What is real? Really? Clown makeup? I don't know. My mustache is getting a bit long, I'll admit. I can start curling the edges up again soon. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll start doing that. Who knows? Next episode is going to be big curls going on. Love you all. My phone's going to die. I'm blessed to know you all. God bless. Well, Connor, make sure to check if you were the winner, because your name is in the prize draw. So don't forget to check the end of the show. Bit late listening to Paul read mean tweets. Be funny to listen to a few more. I'm not. Maybe in the future I'll do like an episode where I like read out all the worst comments I get. I can just respond to them one by one, because I never respond to them. I rarely respond to them myself, because it's kind of like, why feed the trolls? But maybe if we have like a moment where we're just kind of reading the ridiculous comments out loud and having a laugh at their expense, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that one day for fun. Maybe I'll make it a members only or something like that. Harry asks, hey Paul, do you think we live in some sort of computer simulation? Let me have a drink before I answer this one. No. There we go, moving on. He burped and blamed on a gnat. Okay, what the hell are you talking about, Kurt? I didn't burp. If I did burp, I'd be proud of it, because I couldn't burp for most of my life. No, literally, flies are everywhere in here. I've got like lights on, like attract them because they're very bright LEDs, and I had the window open. That's all it was. But no, I don't. If you didn't know, I used to have what's called RCPD, retrograde cricopharyngeal disorder, and it basically meant my upper esophageal sphincter here in my windpipe was locked shut, and it would let food down, but it wouldn't let air out. It would spasm and stay locked tight, and my entire life I suffered from not being able to burp as a result. And a lot of health problems were caused by that issue, that simple issue, and it's only really just become a recognised illness. And I had to go private and pay $4,000 years ago to get Botox injections right into the muscle to relax it. And now I can burp again, and all my symptoms have been alleviated. Extreme heavy bloating, serious pain in the sides, just discomfort. It was just a horrible life, you know. So if I did burp live on the show, I wouldn't be ashamed. I'd be very proud of myself. I would admit it if it was the case. Because for me, I do not take it for granted anymore. Not at all. Did you just take the gnat's life? I didn't. I missed. So don't worry. It was a bit of a response. I actually missed. No, I didn't take its life. The wife's in the chat now. We're talking about Mormons, are we? What's going on about the Mormons? That sounds interesting. Yeah, we live in a simulation. The programmer is called God. Jasper answered the question for me there. Your attire looks very Mormon-esque, but last I checked, they're not really a thing in the UK, says Desmond Miles. You need a Mormon video. Oh, Desmond. Mormons are a thing in the UK. Big time. They exist. Trust me. Mormons exist here. They're on their mission. Believe me. I know more about Mormons than I should know. For some reason, my wife is obsessed with Mormons and always listening to Mormon stories where like people have come out of the church, you know, and are telling what they experience. I know I look a bit Mormonish with this color. I know I haven't got the name tag though that they typically have, and I don't have the jolly positive disposition most of them walk around with, that weird cult-like smile, you know. What are your top 3 films? I don't even know anymore. I don't watch movies. I couldn't even answer that question. No Mormons in the... Yeah, you're wrong. There's plenty of Mormons. That's what my wife was saying. So many Mormons. Not a real thing. Not really a thing, meaning not as prevalent. You left me choice. No choice but to clarify. They are quite prevalent, actually. They have a temple in the north and the south, I believe. So they're around. Have there been many updates on the dimming of the sun in the UK, says EP? That's a good question. Yes and no. I don't think there's been any official articles talking about the dimming of the sun in the UK. But I definitely have noticed a lot more cloud cover over this past summer. We had a stint where we had a lot of sun for like 2 weeks, and we've been having a stint where it's just been completely covered by cloud for the past week and a bit. Are they doing that? Are they the ones? I don't know. Maybe. And we've been promised thunderstorms for the past, I don't know, like 4 days, and no thunderstorms have turned up yet. So I don't know if they're controlling the weather, their predictions are off. I'll tell you that much. They're way off. They're not doing a very good job, as who knows. The chat just leaped away from me there, so I don't know what's going on. We're getting another temple, apparently, says my wife. There you go. See, she knows. She's got all the inside scoop on the Mormons in the UK. She knows what's going on. 3-9 is the audiobook out. It is out, and I'm going to take this as another 10-minute hiatus opportunity to announce the audiobook is now available. You can go and get your copy right now on Amazon, on Audible. It's there. I think it's even on iTunes. I think they deal with the distribution from Audible side of things, but you can go and get your copy right now. Links in the description. But I'm also doing a giveaway in this show live. One giveaway. All it takes is donate $2 or more into a super chat, and your name will be entered in a prize draw at the end of this show. I'm going to put it into an app that'll just spin a wheel and pick the name at random, and you'll get a promo code which you can use to redeem a free copy of The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns, a free audiobook copy. If I get 50 before this show's out, we're on 21 right now, so we're almost halfway there, I will give away 3 promo codes. So that's it. 3. That's even better. Like, the chances are even higher if we get there, guys. So go for it, okay? And I will say as well, that doesn't have to be 50 people, just 50. It could be the same person doing it over and over. Like, maybe they do a few, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I'll cap one person, though, at maybe 3 if they want to try and brute force it with just a bunch of $1 donations or something. I'm not stupid. You know? But yeah, you know, if it gets to 50, I'll up it to 3. Why not? Why not? You know, it's a bit of fun giving it away, and you've got to be in it to win it. So $2, donate now, a super chat, and your name will get into the prize draw. There's already 21 people in it right now, as we can see, and this show's going for maybe another hour, so time's ticking. You know, we're getting there. I've just hit the 1 hour mark. I'm going to take a quick break just to have a drink, check on the wife, see how the kids are doing as well. I'll play for you guys the advert for the audiobook again. That's what I'll do, and maybe then I'll play a song as well, just to have another 5 minutes. So bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm going to play the advert for you, have a quick break, and we'll be back to continue this giveaway show, this special show.
In a world where 54% of Americans read below a 6th grade level.
Could you read this? It's impossible. I just see his words everywhere.
One man wrote a book about the hidden truth behind clowns.
I finally finished it. But everything's going to be okay now.
Links down below to the Amazon.
But he was about to find out
Your primary market is the USA, and it ranks 36th in global literacy rates, with over 43 million adults unable to read or write.
getting the truth to people is no day at the circus.
You know, sometimes I wonder if I'm the real clown.
Nobody reads anymore.
Have you considered recording an audiobook?
You're going to get a sore throat.
You're serious about this, aren't you?
You don't understand. I have to do this. The people have to know.
That book will ruin everything.
I will not use AI to record this.
We can't let him reach them.
This is just something I need to do. I don't even like clowns. The end.
Now they can hide that they're completely illiterate. This is amazing.
This season, playing on rectangular devices with black screens near you. The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns. The audiobook.
I heard him shout, "See, still ashes." I cried steadfast as my blood dripped down out. 40 men swore to an oath not to swallow one thing until my death. I'd fight, but it be in your hands. God, my scars are ready to beg, privilege to trust you. I'll worship and stay, anguish burning in my pleas are that I can, under all these stones, still combine my hands to I'd see before I'd ever think this would go down. A second more will keep my knee from above. Yeah. Bowed are my hands behind bars, 2 chains for you. Sings a sweet song to break free, but I will be home soon. Battered by Euro glide on to get across the sea. I gotta follow my captain in the sky. God, my scars are ready to beg, privilege to trust you. I'll worship and stay, at anguish burning in my pleas are there. these stones still combine my hands to fall, to pray. Thank you, God, my scars are red and too bad. Privileged to trust you, I'll worship instead. Anguish burning in my pleas are that I can, under all these stones, still combine my hands to to pray. Thank you,
And I am back. That bled into the next song there, if you didn't notice. But I've just been busy dealing with my wife and son. He's a bit under the weather. He woke up. He's with his mum in our bed. And I think she's listening to this show, it seems, as well. Trying to get him to sleep. So, yeah, he's not doing too well. He's trying. He's trying his best. How longeth hath a piece of string, St. Paul of Wessex? Sebastian, I do say how long is a piece of string quite a lot. I know. I need a new catchphrase. What can I say? I still need to work on the new merch. Actually, I'm gonna go with Fourth Wall. I'm gonna switch up from Teespring. I'm gonna make some new merch soon. I'm gonna make some black t-shirts and hoodies with the Truth of Therapy Session logo on it, and maybe some hats that says "Not a licensed therapist" with that logo on it on the front as well. Maybe some Truth of Therapy Session merch might be quite fun because it's black, it's red and white, it's quite striking. I think it goes quite well. Maybe mugs with Truth of Therapy Sessions on the side. And then I'm going to try and make some classy Nephilim clown merch as well that doesn't have clowns on it. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I don't want people walking around with clowns on them. But I'll find ways of doing it. And again, catchphrases are fun, and how long's a piece of string might be one of my catchphrases I should get on a t-shirt, that's for sure. Yeah, so that's coming soon. That's something I've got in the works. It's going to take time, though, and it's not like a pressing project for me or anything. Not the target, and sent $10 to 5 random people. Yeah, I know, Wendy, I know, but I can't. I'll try and add some random people into the mix then, I guess, but it's a lot more extra work if I start doing that. Don't donate for other people, please. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's just going to make my life a hell of a lot more complicated in about 40 minutes time when I start compiling all the names when I take a quick break, you know. Yeah, just one donation for yourself. Just do that. Okay, please. just to make my life easier. And what we are now, 23 out of 50. We're almost there. We're almost there, guys. We're almost at 3 possible winners. It can be done. It can be done. $2, get yourself in. 95 people listening here right now. Can easily be done. And your name gets in, you get a free audiobook. You could win. You could be in it to win it. You could be the one. It can be you. It's done. Someone's going to win. It's got to be someone, right? Look at me running a lottery. I never thought I'd be this guy. But yeah, it's fun. I quite like being in this position. Maybe I should get a job for the British Lottery, shall I? And I'll be the guy who like spins the thing and makes the balls drop. I can't be that guy. The clown in the ice cream truck. What's that? I don't know what that's about. Is that a Twisted Metal reference there in some way? Who in chat wants an arm wrestle with AI? Thoughts on Young? Few. I mean, Kurt, you're doing your thing today, aren't you? You're pushing limits. That's for sure. You're testing boundaries. Young just ripped off alchemy and rebranded it as modern psychology. Too much collective consciousness, communist propaganda, says Desmond. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Young. I don't think the things we encounter in the spirit realm are shadow entities and representatives of the collective consciousness of humanity. I think there's a separate spirit realm from humanity, which is the mirror of this world. And I think it's inhabited by the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim and possibly humans who genetically modified themselves and gave up their rights or access to leave the earth in death. I think that's what's there, from my opinion, based on a lot of historical research as well. But the whole people who modified themselves, that's my opinion right now. I'm open to be changed with that. Please, I'm an American. I need this talkie book. Says 3-9. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. You're in the mix. You're in the mix. Talkie book. Twisted Metal 2, you can play as the devil. He had a tank. That's good to know. I never played it. I think I did play actually a PS1 version when I was a child. You know, yeah, I'm going way back there. My understanding conspiracy spiral is holding up well, says Rusty. Yeah, you got one of those, did you? I think I'm the only one who's ever bought one of them. Someone out there has an understanding conspiracy mug as well. Me and one other person in the world has an understanding conspiracy mug. Maybe the Truth of Therapy Sessions one will sell a bit better because they look a bit classier. I don't know. We'll see. The problem is with Teespring, it's really expensive. No one buys anything from there because the price is just ridiculous, and the postage on top of that is even more ridiculous. I think the Fourth Wall has quite reasonable prices from what I've seen. So hopefully that should help drive people to actually want to buy anything at all. Why bother? You know, if it costs like $30 for like one T-shirt and then you got to pay $10 postage, no one's going to buy that. But I think Fourth Wall is like half that price, which is more reasonable. So I'm gonna make the switch, see what happens. It's no skin off my nose. There's no minimal effort on my behalf. I just take some of my pictures and put them on a T-shirt, you know, and they do the rest. We'll see how it goes. Otto, Paul, I want to extend gratitude towards you for beginning me on my journey I've embarked. May the sword of Moses be used by all whom understand it. Christ be with you all, says Otto. Well, Otto, I'm glad I played some small part in helping you. Thanks for the thanks. What's going on with the chat here? Let's get down to the bottom. I want you to get together. Yeah, well, that's not from me. Is that Marlene Shaw who came up with that from a song? Is it Ghetto something? I can't remember what the song's called, but it's the one that goes gang 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 gang. Everyone knows it. I can't remember the name of it. I think that it's the Remember Me, I'm the one who had your babies. That one. I think she says I want you to get together in that song at some point. And then that sample was used in an acid jazz song by Saint Germain, where I heard it for the first time as a kid. And that's the sample you're hearing in my intro. It's a good song. I'd recommend it. I couldn't own that, though. Could I put that on a T-shirt? I don't know. I must be crossing some copyright boundaries by this point. I have no idea. Maybe I'm not. I could try. I could always act first, ask permission later. You know, I could always just take that philosophy. I liked Young and Terence McKenna back when I meddled with psychedelics. So did I, Desmond. And then you realise it's all just a bunch of junk once you get to Christ, you know. It's really hard to quit smoking weed, man. Hard to quit smoking in general. I don't even like it anymore, says Goose from Bar. Well, actually, I would say yes, it's very difficult, but it's worth it. It can be done. I did it. I smoked for 8 years straight. and I managed to quit cold turkey, and the first 2 weeks were terrible. They were the worst 2 weeks of my life, I would say. Well, I've had worse days since then, I'm not going to lie, but in terms of like physical strain, it's tough. It's really horrible. And then it's a psychological thing after that. It's a habit. What do I replace that habit with? And that's what you have to remember. You're removing something that took up hours of your day on a ritualistic daily routine basis. You have to find something productive to replace that time, because your routines in your brain, the neurons you've like burnt into, the pathways you've burnt into your brain synapses are still going to be there, and they're going to be waiting for the usual daily pulse to go through, and that craving will kick in. It's all mental. It's not like chemical, because it's not addictive necessarily like in a chemical sense, but that habit will need to be replaced. You'll never get rid of it, but you can always carve new habits that will outshine or replace in a way the old ones. And the old ones will seem insignificant, and your brain will now angle towards wanting to fulfill the new habit rather than turning to fulfilling the old habit, which was cannabis. And, be productive about it. Do something good. Don't replace it with another bad habit. And that's my advice for quitting cannabis. Find a new thing to replace it with that's productive, because that's what you'll miss. That's the real addictive issue. What do you do with that time? Apparently the mad scientist Neo Cortex was a circus clown as a child. Is that from Crash Bandicoot? Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? Final Fantasy 7. I played Final Fantasy 9. I never played 7. That's where I'm coming from. Oh man, Paul, you're making me feel old saying that song was from when you were a child. I was 35 when Saint Germain came out. Well, not when I was a child. I mean, his album Tourist, which came out, I think, in 2000. I started listening to it around about 2003, I think, 2004. And that's remained, I'd say, my favorite album forever. I don't know what it is. I spent many a night just listening to that whole thing on repeat, painting. It's perfect background creative music. And there's much to be said about the whole Gnostic spin and the idea of who Saint Germain was, but I didn't know any of that at the time, and I don't really care now, But in terms of acid jazz music, that album to me has always stayed with me and always will do. It'll always have a special place in my heart. And I don't know. I was born in 92. I just turned 33 in July the 4th. So I guess I would have been about 14, 13 maybe, or something. 15, 16 when I first heard the album, something like that. Roughly. Sounds about right. Paul, can you please answer seriously, how can we rely on the Bible when it has been doctored to suit the world religion narrative? Plus missing books. Has it been doctored to suit the world religion narratives? Are you sure about that? Have you actually read the book? Have you read the source text? Because it's pretty much against world religions in terms of like a new world order, holistic. In fact, Christ literally came to destroy an all-encompassing world religion, theocracy type dictatorship, which was Rome. Like, it was the complete opposite. And he came to bring a true religion where everyone has a relationship with the Father. And it created more of a body of Christ rather than which is a more of a spiritual concept of acting in the world but not being of the world. Because we keep our eyes on treasures in heaven, and we don't build kingdoms in this world necessarily because we know they don't last. So when you say it's been doctored to go with the world religion, I don't really know what you're talking about. What text are you talking about? And other than that as well, forget about ink written on paper, which is a worldly thing anyway, that will turn to dust and rot and be eaten by moths and the rest of it, and damp and mold will get the better of it in the end. The word is on our hearts. A relationship with God and a relationship with Jesus can be established as a real thing. You can just talk to him, ask and you will receive. And those experiences are what tells me it's real. You can call on the name of Jesus Christ during demonic attack when those real tangible attacks do happen to you, and they will to everybody at some point in your life. And you can know it's true and know Christ has got your back and it's real by calling on him to protect you and watching the demons flee instantly. There's practical applications to the Christian worldview which can prove it over and over again. outside of simply just the text itself. Though the text is amazing and beautiful and wonderful, like I said, you can do it without the text if you want to. A relationship with God is not about a book. So I understand where you're coming from, but I would say it's a worldly based argument. And again, a bit skewed, because I don't know how it's been doctored necessarily to cater towards a world religion, like a New World Order type thing that you're angling for. Is that what you're trying to say? Because I think you're wrong with that one. I think you're just wrong. So there we go. I traded my beer habit for a coffee habit, says Jasper. Yeah, I drink a lot of coffee. I'm not going to lie. I think I may have done the same with cannabis. Okay, I take it back. You're as young as you feel. Younger generations say you're not that old. They don't even know Lord of the Rings and refuse to watch it. I used to love the Lord of the Rings as a kid. I even bought like a chessboard where all the characters were from Lord of the Rings. I don't know why. I just thought it was so cool at the time. It was so ridiculous. I haven't watched it in years though, and I suppose if I watched it with my mind now, I'd probably pick it apart and as something else, you know. Paul's a year older than me, lol. I thought he was old. No, I'm not that old. I know I have the countenance of a 55-year-old. But no, I'm quite young, believe it or not. The N64 generation. I never cared about Nintendo. I just didn't get into it. I didn't care. I'm not sure about the source text, but I have read the Bible for 20 plus years. Thank you, says Golden Fern. Okay, no, that's fair enough. I'm like I said, there are many people out there who think, when you talk about the Word of God, you're simply talking about the book. But the Word of God is Jesus. And you can have a real relationship with him, a spiritual, real, Holy Spirit-based relationship with him. And that then helps people out in the world who may not have access to books or can't even read, not be, discriminated against in a way. They can know God and Jesus without being able to read because it's not a book, So again, it's like, how can we trust Christianity when the books have been corrupted by man? It's kind of like, because my faith isn't based on a book. You get what I'm saying? That would be my initial argument. It's a subjective argument. I'm not saying it's proof or evidence of anything, but yeah, that's not what my faith is based on. My wife still hasn't watched Lord of the Rings either. Yeah, she's one of those people, and she's only a year younger than me. She's got, I don't know, she just missed it somehow. I don't know how she missed it, and she refuses to watch it. She'd like it. She actually would like it as well. I have an occasional shot or two from time to time, or each to their own. As long as it doesn't control you and you're in control of it, I'd say, it's not too bad. And with my cannabis addiction, I did not have control. It was controlling me by that point. No, and it was time to stop. That's for sure. I don't understand why Catholics are okay with having middlemen in between them and God. Well, there are a lot of Catholics out there who are good people. I'm not here to Catholic bash, But I will also say I have serious issues with the idea of needing a earthly father to intercede on behalf of me for the Heavenly Father. That's something massively wrong with that, And I don't agree with the idea of veneration of icons or saints necessarily. I think it's idol worship. I really do. And I don't agree with them removing idol worship as a sin from the Ten Commandments and replacing it by splitting the covet sin in half and making it about coveting after people's wives and property rather than just don't covet. Just to cover up that they remove the have no idols, there's highly questionable stuff in the Catholic Church that's covering it. It's definitely based on Christianity from the schism of like the 11th or 10th century, it definitely has its roots in Christianity and it has some impressive buildings and churches, don't get me wrong, but the ritual that has been laid on top of of what it takes to have a relationship with God, it's veered off. It went off somewhere, and I think people now identify and follow what the church says and the leaders of the church say. It's become a cult. All right, that's it. I'm going to say it. The Catholic Church has become a cult, and you have to follow the doctrines of the Catholic Church for your salvation, rather than simply following Jesus. And that's the issue. That's the issue in my eyes. But I think a lot of people who follow the Catholic Church believe that they are having a relationship with Jesus through the Catholic Church, and they believe that sincerely. It's not like. And I would say you don't need the ritual. You don't need all of that. But then I do wonder. Room for thought here. Like maybe some people need that. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself. Maybe I don't need the ritual. Maybe some people do. They need that tangible physical action to remind themselves or stay focused and grounded in Christ. And without it, they wouldn't be able to have the relationship with God. Maybe I need to be more open to that, because again, I don't want to disparage the billions of people who perhaps are members of the body of Christ, just because they do it differently to me. But I have my opinions. I have my issues, If the Bible is incorruptible, that would mean God didn't truly give man agency. Well, yeah, exactly. All religions are cults, in a way. Yeah, I'm a member of the cult of Jesus, I guess. The problem is with modern, the real definition of more modern cults is that their leaders usually walking around with them, telling them what to do. You see what I mean? But Jesus is in heaven next to the right hand of the Father. You know what I mean? And he's not knocking on your door, telling you that like one of the other members has told me you're not quite following the rules right. It's kind of do you need correcting? It's like those type of cults really do get very the weird. So I would say following Jesus is the only cult worth being in if you're going to be in a cult. I would say. I didn't miss it. I just didn't care and still don't, says the wife. Like Star Wars too. Well, you didn't miss anything with Star Wars, but I think Lord of the Rings, I think you would actually like Lord of the Rings if you watched it. It's just my opinion. I think you actually would like it. It's good. It's good. It's really good. That's not me endorsing the Lord of the Rings, by the way, as something you should ascribe to or watch on the channel. I just realised there's a lot of probably occult Gnostic nonsense in there, which is just veered massively off from the Christian message, which I'm not a proponent of. But in terms of just a good movie, it's definitely there. It's up there, Twin Peaks is my comfort media, says Jasper. Packed with references, yeah, it is. I haven't watched it in years. I can barely even remember it, to be honest. I'll have to watch it again. Good day, Paul and Keely from Beck from Moz. Good to see you. Jesus cult is the best cult. We have the best cult. Just don't drink the Kool-Aid, Jeff. Yeah. Cults are secretive. Tiered knowledge. They don't tell you the full truth up front. They make you go through degrees. They have a pyramid structure. Yeah, that's usually the case. Yeah. I'd say Christianity is more of a community than a cult, but there's a fine line there. Communities can often veer into cultish behavior, and the problem is with cults, you always have a charismatic leader. That's what makes it defined as a cult. Communities are more loose and have a disorganized, non-central type of leadership, whereas there's many people involved and no one has to believe everyone 100% of the time. It's a little bit different, Anyway, let's take another 10-minute break. Talkie Book, How Can I Resist? As Alison M. She's now in the draw for the end of the show. Get yourself in, guys. $2 a minimum donation, and you can get to be in the draw for a free audiobook. It's a giveaway, and who knows, if we can reach 50 by the end of the show, I'll do 3 giveaways. All it takes is just $2. It can be done. There's 110 people watching now, according to my statistics down here. If all of these people just give $2, there you go, guys. You're in the draw. You're all in the draw. Everyone gets a chance, and there's 3 chances to win. You can't go wrong, can you? Let's get it done. I'm just concerned if the powers that be allow the religions and Bible, they must be suiting their purpose. Says Golden Fern. That's well, define allow the Bible, because like these people didn't always have control, and it's hard to get rid of the most printed and read book on the entire earth. You can't get rid of the Bible. You can't just whitewash and completely destroy Christendom from the earth, especially if a millennial kingdom has already been established. But what they can do is manipulate, twist, edit the text and change it, create cults and groups that claim to be Christian, tarnish the image of Christianity, turn people away from reading the book for themselves or wanting to know anything about Christianity. That's what the devil would do. That's what controllers would do. And that's what they have been doing instead. That's what I would say. It's not like they're allowing the book to exist. They are not God. They don't have control like they claim they have, you know. Almost as good as sports ball. I use that one a lot, don't I? Who is part of a cult would deny being in a cult? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm dressed like I'm in a cult today, aren't I? That's the issue. That's the issue. Where's Connor when you need him? He's the guy who's actually starting a cult openly. We need to get everyone lambast him instead. Right, guys. Let me just check down here in the chats. Yeah, like I say, get them in. Anyone got any other questions? Just fire them out while you're at it. I'll give my 2 cents on any topic you want whatsoever. Just let me know. Like I said, later this evening, I think it's 11 o'clock now. 4 hours. I believe in maybe an hour's time, JT will be starting his stream. So you got something to go over to after this. He'll be responding to Now You See TV's John Pounders. I think it's John Pounders. Talking about the little season, debunking it. There's been a lot of people coming out of the woodworks, I've noticed, debunking the little season recently. There's a lot of debates happening as well. It's becoming a bit of a circus show these days, if you ask me. It's getting a bit weird. It's a bit of a no you sort of thing, a bit of a back and forth. The drama's amping up, and I think people are loving it, you know. And again, I'm just watching from the sidelines, just thinking, we'll see where this goes, eh? But yeah, whatever, go and watch, go find out how it goes. Go see. Nobody's writing anyone off. Who's writing people off? Am I writing someone off? Weird thumbnail. What's a weird thumbnail? My thumbnail? It's literally a scene from the audiobook advert where there's like a transition happening where I'm looking up at the sky, then it's to me holding the ball. I took a snapshot where it was in the middle, and then added some words and a picture of the audiobook in there. What's so weird about it? What have you got? Are you like the guy at the start of this who said, I'm showing a one-eye symbolism? Because if you look closely, you can see both my eyes. So it's not one-eyed symbolism. I'll just say that right now, if that's what you're hinting at there. You're wrong. Where there is a warning, anyone who changes his book acknowledges the possibility. There are many cults that claim to be Christians, but you can't write off all their members. Some may be living through faith, but being deceived by spirits they haven't tested. Yeah, real Harvey Price. I literally said that. I did not discount anyone. No one's discounting any members of anything whatsoever. As my wife is saying, no one's writing anyone off. Why would you even say that? Like, have you even listened to any of the show? Go back and listen. No one said that, so I don't know why you're saying it. Scott Helmer, you're in the draw. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. I write people off sometimes. I think we all do one way. Like I said, no one's writing anyone off. Why even say that? Why even act like we have done and we're just denying it? Literally, no one got written off. I openly even said, I don't want to write off all the Catholics. I think they love Jesus. I don't know what are you even talking about? Just stop with that gaslighty. I think you've done this before. Are you the guy who did this last time? Where I said, what are you talking about? You're just wrong. That didn't happen. And they're like, look, I know it's hard to accept. And I'm sure you did that last time. Is that you? My wife knows what I'm talking about. I sound like an rambling, insane person now. But trust me, I get so many comments from people who like tell me one thing. And then I go, you're wrong. That didn't happen. What are you talking about? And then they go, I know it's hard to accept these things sometimes, but I know, trust me, I've been there. Sometimes you just can't see what's really going on in front of you. And I'm like, no, you're just wrong. Like, that didn't happen. Don't gaslight me into that I'm insane and I just need to accept this weird reality you've created. Like, I get a lot of them recently. And am I just arguing with robots? Is that what's happening? Is that what's really going on? I don't know. Some are saying Ozzy was Catholic. Someone said he was a Zionist. What's true? Not for me to say, I guess. Well, that's between him and God at the end of the day. You don't know someone's heart, so I have no idea. Pro WTF element. Oh, right, so it's not you. You're not the guy, are you then, real Harvey Price? I don't know. Like, I get a lot of comments from people all the time, and just the way you were speaking there, very reminiscent of a lot of comments I get. Touchy, I was just being honest. Is it touchy? Really? I don't know. I feel like I'm doing it in a relatively high spirit. See, that's that gaslight again. Oh, you're not allowed to respond to criticism, or you're touchy. I don't agree with that either. I don't think that's fair. What do you know about, what's this? Sorry. Scott Helmer. Oh, thanks for that donation. I appreciate it. Here's a few more to reach that goal. Cheers. You know what, guys? I mean, if I'm getting this much, it looks like we might be giving 3 away anyway from this. If we've not hitting 50, we've certainly hit a certain amount. Let me have a look what's going on with the fan funding from my angle. So what's that? 18. I'm going to do some quick math. I don't know what NLK is. I'm going to say it's 5. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we've probably hit $100 roughly. So then YouTube will take 1/3 of that. So that's about $66. And then if we translate that into pounds, that's worth about £40 to me. That's what I'm going to get. Is that enough? I don't know. Maybe if we get a few more and we bump that up maybe to £50, I'll give away 3 copies instead. There you go. There's my quick math that I can come up with. Yeah, YouTube take a lot of these super chats, unfortunately. If anyone actually wants to legitimately ever support me, super chats are not ideally the best way because of that huge cut YouTube takes. Just straight to PayPal, I get pretty much all of it. That's probably the best way to do it, to be honest. This is all very cool behavior, says my wife. We're just Christians. We're not in a cult. CERN also has a statue of Shiva the Destroyer out front, and they've been doing dark rituals there. Yeah, that's a classic conspiracy topic, isn't it? Yeah, are they still doing stuff in front of that weird statue of Shiva? Wouldn't surprise me. I think someone's been messing with you and you're taking it out on me, but cool, later, lad. All right, later. Bye. Bye. Love a good gaslighting in the evening. He's off skis. That's all right. John Kerwin, Dr. Paul Grafton Holt, and others think Satan may be messing with the timeline using CERN as part of his little season deception. There are some compelling ideas there anyway. Oh, so he's linking the Mandela effect to CERN, and that was done on purpose to manipulate our reality and our ability to read the word correctly today, because this is the little season from his perspective, and he wants to, and that's how he would confuse people through the Mandela effect through using CERN. Maybe. We don't know that, though, do we? Like, we can't possibly know that. But maybe. Who's to say? There's a lot of people that still argue the Mandela effect is not legit in any way, shape, or form, and it's more of a psyop than anything else as well. And I'm open to anything, any option on this. It's one of those things I watch and keep an open mind on, and I don't know. I don't really know. I often lean to the whole Mandela effect thing just being a psyop on a mass scale, or very, very, very long con, a manipulative, narcissistic gaslighting technique on a mass scale. But then every now and then something makes me think maybe they can manipulate space-time and reality through opening portals at CERN. Who knows? Maybe not. Look up definition of a cult. You're sounding a lot like Rise these days, the wife. Like, are you joining his side now? Is that what's going on? Just a theory at this point. Jasper, that comment was docked from top chat, only visible in live chat. Yeah, make sure you're in the live chat section, guys. Top chat does miss out a lot of comments. Just letting you know. Mandela effect is bollocks, says Sebastian. So there's Sebastian's opinion. He thinks it's all a lot of bunk. I don't know. There's some very compelling stuff in it, isn't there? Like I have moments where I'm like, I swear Febreze had 2 E's. Like, I have lots of those moments as well. He's part of a cult too, says the wife. Well, there we go then. No, nobody can win. Everyone, it's all just the pot calling the kettle black. The kettle calling the pot black. I can't remember that phrase is now. There are so many conspiracies. Mandela effect is the least significant, says Randez. But this is the thing. The Mandela effect community would say it's the most significant for many reasons, because reality is quite literally changing all around us. And we can't trust anything anymore. And I would say psychologically, that's like the perfect state you need people in. They literally cannot trust anything because everything's changing all the time. I mean, that's... If you're like an evil controlling cabal, isn't that exactly how you would want people to view reality? I don't know. I'm wondering. I don't think I deserve the insult. No, I wasn't really saying you were on his side. That was a joke. I'm encountering so many who believe reality is subjective. My Bible beliefs are my reality. Okay. Well, there's always going to be those people around. Can you talk about the first Nephilim family, says Bree? Are you talking about like... Well, the thing is, all we know is that by the 6th generation from Jared from Seth is when the Watchers came down and took wives and created the Nephilim. We assume it was the daughters of Cain who did that. But other than that, I mean, we don't really know who the first Nephilim family were. We don't really know. But there are famous examples of characters in the Bible who we could think may have been involved with the Nephilim. If you want to read the book of Lamech of Cain and Leviathan, in that book, they do say that Namar from Seth's, from Cain's lineage, was the last generation, the 8th generation, I think, to bear the mark of Cain, which would have been white skin, like leprous white skin. And in that book, it says it's that Namar from Cain's lineage who married Noah from Seth's lineage, and she did all sorts of things with the Nephilim and the Watchers before marrying Noah, and she's the one who brought the corruption over to the post-world. Could that be then from the renewal after the flood? She was the mother of the new Nephilim through the line of Canaan, which then inhabited the lands, you know what I mean, which had to be taken back from Israel. I mean, I don't know. What do you mean by the first Nephilim family exactly? How can we know this? I meant more sounding like Rise. That is an insult, isn't it? Yeah. No offense to Rise. I mean, Rise did go hard on us when we first talked about the little season. He thought we were just a cult, but he's just a typical futurist who would take that stance. It's a basic stance to take, so I understand. It's kind of sad, really, to be attacked by him, because when I first got into conspiracy, he was one of like the first like Christian truthers that were out there. He's always been quite zealous. He's always been like that, you know. I wouldn't say he was like my favorite YouTuber or anything, but he was around. He was one of those people, you know. And it's kind of sad that when I reached this kind of level up here, where I've got a lot of subscribers and have an impact in the truthing community, he would attack me. It's kind of sad. He's kind of, oh no, not Rise. You know? I thought we were all on the same side, you know. Talk about her, says Bree. Well, yeah, like I said, Namar, the wife of Noah, mother the mother of humanity, technically, after the flood, but we don't really know much about her other than what these extra books claim, which is that she, like I said, was basically a salacious whore with watchers and giants for a long time before marrying Noah. And people have even implied she was only marrying Noah to bring the corruption through. There's another story. I think it's a Russian version of the Noah myth. Well, no, they would call it a mythos because it's not Noah they're talking about necessarily, I don't think. I think, obviously, I don't think it's a myth myself, but they have like their own take on the whole idea of a boat and a family. And I think in this story, it was the woman who let the devil onto the boat, and she invited the devil on by making the husband, the boat builder, slap her, like, to let sin in and this type of thing. It's a really odd story, but the story kind of implies that the wife of the boat builder, so the wife of Noah, intentionally worked with the devil to bring corruption through to the next world. So who knows? Who really knows? Who truly knows? But like I said, we don't know who the first Nephilim were. We don't really know that. We just know in the 6th generation from Seth, in the time of Jared, just before Enoch, Jared was the father of Enoch. In the 7th generation, the Watchers came down, took wives, and made giants. So the first Nephilim were created then. We don't know who they selected as the first wives to do that. There was 200, there's 200 of them in the end, 200 Watchers. So we don't really know. There was a lot of first families. Wendy's here. Smash that like. That's right. The Gnostic model reads like the Elder Scrolls lore. I know, right? Doesn't it just? And that's why it appeals to a younger generation who grew up on the Elder Scrolls. The Gnosticism appeals to them more so than the source text, which is the Bible, the basic gospel, A simple reason why I don't think Cain was born of any angel and Eve is because they would have made him a Nephilim. If he were a Nephilim, it just seems like it would say that. Yeah, but I agree, Rev. I don't think Cain is the offspring of the serpent and Eve. I don't think that's true. I think Cain is Adam's son. I think he is. I think that interpretation is a misinterpretation of the enmity between her seed and your seed situation. I think people have assumed when God said to the serpent in the garden, after they ate the fruit, he turned to the serpent and says, I will put your enmity between your seed and her seed. You will bite their heel, but they'll crush your skull. People have assumed the seed of the serpent through Eve, and Cain's lineage is the serpent seed, and Seth's lineage is the seed of humanity, and they're always going to be at war with each other, and they've made all these assumptions based on that line. But I think all it really meant was God knew the serpent's plan. He knew what was going to happen in the future. He knew about what the Watchers were going to do in the 6th generation from Jared. He knew they were going to try and create a hybrid race of humans and dragons, the Nephilim, the serpent seed. And he knew they were going to try and usurp all the earthly kingdoms and take dominion over the earth away from humanity. He knew all the plans of the future that the serpent was involved with, the first agent in making happen. He knew it all. He foresaw the entire future that was to come. And God said to him, it's not going to work. Go and create your Nephilim in the future. Your seed will not prevail over humanity. Because obviously he had Jesus up his sleeve, the future plan. So I think the whole doctrine of Cain being the seed of the serpent, I think is a misdirection. It's not true. I think it's a misinterpretation of what God meant when he said that to the serpent in the garden. He was talking about the future Nephilim that were going to be created. And the eating of the fruit of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil was just the first step in this long agenda of rebellion the angels had against God's creation of humanity. Because they hated man. They did not want to bow down to man. And the serpent played a role in the garden to help forward that future plan. There was a plan in motion. God foresaw the end results of this plan. You're going to mix yourself with humanity and try to create a hybrid, which is part human, part angel. And you're going to try and make them have dominion over the earth. But I have given it to humanity, is what God was saying, in my image. and there'll be enmity between you, and you will not win that war. I think that's what was really happening. So I agree with you, Rev. I do. Book of Enoch say Sun and Moon are the same size and have the same orbits around our planet. Yeah, the Book of Enoch is a very interesting book, absolutely. And it talks about how they enter through portals and gateways and stuff like that on the circuits. It's very fascinating. We've got someone that got a concave earther in the house here. Classic. Nice shirt and tie. Well, thanks, Rev. I do try, I put on a bit of an effort today. And while I'm here, another quick reminder, get your donation in, get your $2 in to enter into the prize draw for a copy of the Nephilim Looked Like Clowns audiobook. $2 super chat, your name goes into the draw, and you get to, you get your chance to have a copy. Get in, guys. You got to be in it to win it. Time's running out. I've been going for almost 2 hours already, so this is the last 10 minutes. Get them in now. I'm going to close the opportunity down in 3 minutes. So that's it. That'd be chance. If you can't, you can donate no more. Your name won't be on the list in 3 minutes time. On my clock here, it says it's 1 hour 53. As soon as that hits 56, I'm going to go quiet, play some music. I'm going to get all the names into a prize draw. We're going to come back and we're going to do the prize draw, guys. So the time's almost here. It's almost happening. Exciting stuff. It's about to happen. But yeah, last chance, guys, right now. Get those donations in. Get $2 in, and your name will go into the draw. There you go. Get a copy of the Nephilim Looked Like Clowns. A bit of fun for a Wednesday evening before the main character podcast and before JT's rebuttal of John Pounders. A bit of fun. Randez, I'm already in. People are already. If you're already in. That's great. Good to see. That's wonderful. Do you believe that the powers that could perhaps use cloning taken from DNA of Nephilim remains to edit their own DNA, or some sort of cloning? Possibly, if they can find any preserved DNA, I'm sure they would do some genetic manipulation to be as the Nephilim themselves. People already did that, though. They did that before the flood. It's talked about in the Book of Jasher, the mixing of kinds. People took it upon themselves to make themselves superhuman and edit their DNA with animal DNA. And I believe if mankind could do that again today to give themselves powers, they would. And they were the original X-Men, the original mutants just before the flood. And I think they're going to try and do the same thing again today for sure. And what I call Nephilimify themselves. But they're not true Nephilim. They're not born of angel and human, The mutants, basically. We live on a deflated globe. The serpent beguiled Eve. Beguiled is a sexual deception, says Bob D. Is it necessarily? Is it? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it has to be about sex. I really don't. I really don't think it has to be. I think that says more about our generation and our thoughts than more about what actually happened in the past, to be honest. Hi Paul says a waste of change. Hello to you. Get yourself in on the prize draw for a Nephilim Looked Like Clowns audiobook. Promo code, free copy, $2 gets you into the draw. Time is almost up, guys. I've got 30 seconds left. Get it in, and then I'm going to go for a quick break, and I'll play another song for you guys while I count everything up, okay? And we'll come back and we'll do the prize draw, and we'll see who won. All in good fun. They're already doing it, says Marky. Yeah, they're definitely doing genetic engineering already. That's true. He will crush your head and you will strike his heel. Is really implying that humans will have to fight against giants. Something like that, 3-scoring, absolutely. And Bree, you got there in just in time because the time's up on my half. We're all done, guys. I am going to close down the competition. We had 30 out of 50, but I believe we had over $100 worth of entries. So you know what, guys? I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it. 3 copies are going to be given away. Nancy Saved by Jesus has got in there with another $10 donation as well. We're going to do it. I'm going to give away 3 copies just in good sport. I'm probably always going to do this anyway. I just kept you on your toes, you know, because I'm just that type of guy. But yeah, we'll give away 3 copies in the draw. Okay, so you give me some time. I'm just going to compile some names. Give me 5 minutes. I'll get them into a thing, and then we'll come back and live. We'll share the screen. We'll spin the wheel, and we're going to see who wins the 3 copies. All right, guys. So bear with me. I'm going to play some music for you guys. We're going to do a Judas Sargent song again. I'm going to go for Patchwork Quilt just because it's 7 minutes long and it gives me the chance. Okay, so here we go. Here's Judas Sargent, Patchwork Quilt, while I add up the names and we get our winners sorted. Here we go.
Your love. to you. Whether it be a burgundy woven into the covering of the color that embodies the sun's blood for the lost, bring me down to the lowest color of the lower grade to show the highest, the most beautiful. What patch most? More hoes, more hoes, more hoes. Exalt the man on the cross. What patch most? Exalt the man on the cross. Like the quill Mama had me covered, I slept soundly under. Father, here am I undeserved. If you will choose any of these colors, oh, like the quilt Mama had me covered, I will live however you want me to. Thread it through for the glory of Savior's blood spilled. Because no matter from what cloth I was cut, may my heart be as a patchwork quilt. To you.
And I am back. There we go. My my mic was muted. Right, so I think I've pretty much got it sorted. If I can see there correctly, Wendy's told me to check Telegram, and yeah, Rusty did offer more extra people to join because he paid a bit more. So I will throw a few extra names on there as well while I am at it. Like I said, guys, I'm going to give 3 away. First name, don't worry about the donation. I'm going to put you on there anyway. Rusty's got you covered. Oh, he's done it. Whatever, he's in. Okay, first name's going to go on there. That's fine. First name, you're on the list. And while I'm at it, who else have we got here who can go on the list? Goblin Grundle will throw you on as well. Goblin Grundle, and I'll chuck one more on there too. Golden Fern, you're not on there. Shall I put you on there too? Go on, in good spirit, Golden Fern. I know you've asked some hard questions, but I'll chuck you on anyway. Why not? And Randez says he's already in. I can't see Randez anywhere on the list. So Randez, just to make sure you're in there, I'll do it. Randez 626. You're also in the draw. Right, guys, so this is how we're going to do this, okay? This is how we're going to do this. Let me just share the screen with you guys. This is an absolute mess, as you can see right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to very quickly expand this. Let me see what you can see in a second. This is our wheel with all our names, as you can see. I've got no rhyme or reason to this. I don't know if I've ever done this before. Let me just make sure how this looks to you. Let me make it look a bit better. Yeah, there you go. That's probably as best as it's going to be, isn't it? So I'm just going to click. We're going to spin this thing. I hope you can all see it. I think you can all see it. I think it's all good. We're going to see what goes on. All right, we're going to see who wins. I'm going to do 3 draws, 3 winners. And I'll make it clear right now, you need to email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com, and I can sort out getting you your codes, the link to send the codes to, so you can get your audio book. Okay, so here we go, guys. Let's do the first draw. Let's see who wins. It's going. We have... Ooh, EP, right, you're the first winner. EP, you have won yourself a copy, a promo code for a free version of the Nephilim Looked Like Clowns audiobook. Email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com to get your copy. Let's do the next one. That's number one. Let's do number two. And we'll remove you from the group. Let's do number two. Here we go. It's going to be, is it Rusty? Is it going to be Rusty? Is it going to be, it's Jesse Pierce. Jesse Pierce, you have won your version of the Nephilim Looked Like Clowns audiobook. Make sure to email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and you can get your version. Are we ready for this? Let's remove you from the list. Final one. Here we go, guys. One more giveaway. Let's go. And we have... It's Yas Calibri. That was so close. I thought MK Ryan was going to get it there. That was just on the cusp. That was tense. Yas Calibri, you have got yourself a copy of the audiobook. You have won 3 winners right there. Make sure to email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and you can get your copy. I'll send you the code. And it's all done. So there we go. That wasn't that exciting. That was very exciting. My heart was pumping there at the end. That was very fun. I enjoyed that. Maybe we'll do it again in another show in the future. I've got a few codes to give out over the next few years. But those are 3 winners. I forgot your names already. Just email me, guys. You know who you are if you're a winner. You're in there. And I will send the code to you and you can claim your free audio book. For those who didn't win, all is not lost. You can go and buy your own audiobook by going to Audible, getting yourself a copy. So there we go, guys. Links are in the description. Please use the link down below in this description. It is affiliated to me directly. It helps me a lot when you actually use that link specifically. They acknowledge that I sent you across, and I think they kick me a little bit of a bonus. So it's a win-win for everybody. You get an audiobook, I get paid a bit extra. It's all good. So please use that. Mark, Bummer's so close. Exactly. I know it's very exciting. But there we go, guys. That's the show. Very exciting again. I'm very... It's a good community. We have fun here. I'm glad everyone's here. I'm glad for all those who donated. Better luck next time. Maybe we'll try again in the future. Who knows? But if you do want to get a signed copy of the Nephilim Looked Like Clowns as well, you can also email me, understandingconspiracy@gmail.com. I have a batch coming in the next few days, and you can go claim your copy for that as well. But I'm going to leave that there. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the next show wherever you're going after this, because I know this community is just going to flow somewhere else afterwards. Thanks for listening, guys. And as always, God bless.